Our next presentation, What Comes Next? Iran's Political Transition Plan, will feature a presentation of the Iran Prosperity Project's blueprint for Iran's post-Islamic Republic transition to security and stability. Please join the Iran Prosperity Project architect, Nufti advisor, and senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Saeed Qasemnejad.
Thank you for having me here. I have to say I have asked our Nufti friend not to call me IPP architect. It reminds me of George Costanza. So now that I aired it publicly, I hope they change that title. So over the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to bore you to coma with my monotonous speech, my Persian accent, and saying some very non-controversial things. Let me check this one. Is this one? Yeah. Okay, very good. So, the Islamic Republic is at its weakest point. Its economy is in free fall. Its military has been shattered. Its proxy are being demolished. Its security apparatus is deeply infiltrated, and its base of support is constantly shrinking, while a majority of Iranians want it gone. And over the last decade, they have shown their willingness to go to streets in order to bring it down. So a revolution is not an abstract notion anymore. It's something in the air. Everyone feels it. Everyone smells it. But do Iranians have a plan to succeed? Yes. The Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has introduced a 5-point plan to bring down the regime and to rebuild Iran. What are those 5 points? Maximum pressure on the regime from inside and outside through various means to weaken the regime, deprive it of resources that it uses to fund oppression at home and aggression abroad, isolate it diplomatically, boycott regime-affiliated groups and figures and entities, and put social pressure on them. I think we have been quite successful on that. The max pressure was introduced by the Trump administration. It was mainly economic, but the max pressure that Crown Prince is introducing, it involves the Iranian diaspora. We see that the Iranian diaspora has mobilized. It involves Iranians inside the country to put pressure on the regime. We see it happening. The second part is maximum support for the people of Iran. Again, it has elements outside Iran, like one of the things that we have been advocating for is giving the Iranian people the communication tools that they need when the regime should cut off the internet. Unfortunately, we haven't seen foreign governments moving on that, but I'm happy to tell you that the Iranian diaspora has actually moved on that. Right now in Iran, we have like tens of thousands of satellite internet, Starlink. Like one of our good friends, Shervin Pishevar, a successful Iranian entrepreneur, is one of the people who have helped to bring these satellite dishes to Iran. So right now, the Islamist regime cannot cut off Iranian totally from the internet. We need more. But the max support, it's not just outside, it's inside, helping each other inside Iran, helping the families of martyrs, helping the families of political prisoners. The diaspora is doing that. Iranians inside are doing that. We see that. We get a report about that. So the max support is also moving. The third one is the max defection. So to bring down the regime, it's important for us that a section of the regime's military, security, and bureaucracy join the revolution. To do this, the Crown Prince has created a defection platform for members of security, military, and bureaucracy. And so far, I'm happy to report to you that tens of thousands have joined. Their data is being vetted and monitored. They are being contacted. And I think the regime knows it's very vulnerable, and it's really driving the regime crazy. We see that and we hear that from the people that are actually contacting us. And I'm happy to say that we actually have the tools to vet them and analyze them. Then we have the maximum mobilizations of Iranians inside and outside. You have seen it like in diaspora at local levels. More than ever, we have Iranians in different countries, in different cities, organizing, mobilizing, informing the public opinion in their own country, talking to politicians. Then we have the mobilization of political groups. We have seen it in Munich, Munich 1 and Munich 2. Many political groups got together to support the Crown Prince and his vision, signed the 12-point plan. And in Munich 2, we had hundreds of Iranians from different ethnicity, different political background, different positions, different countries, different faiths joining together to support the Crown Prince and to support the cause of freedom in Iran. And then we have the mobilization and organization of revolutionary cells in Iran. That's also going well. We should do much better, but it's happening quite fast and I think at a good pace. And then there is the mass mobilizations of people inside Iran developing tools to be able to talk to them and to be able to mobilizing them, and that's happening too. And the fifth point is Iran Prosperity Project, which is a plan for the day after. That's something that I and my friend are working on, and I will talk about it more. Many Western thought leaders, political leaders, they have been saying that Iranians don't have a leader. There is no one who can lead them. There is no organized opposition. And we know that no revolution can win without leader. Do we have a leader? Yes, we have a leader. And his name is Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Many may ask why him. First, he's the most popular person in Iran. So we have seen it in polls, both public, private polls that have been conducted by his enemies, by people who don't have any feeling about him, or people who support him. The magnitude of his support changes in these polls, but one thing is constant. He is the most popular person in Iran. That never changes, even when his enemies are conducting polls. He's the only one whose name is being chanted, not just his name, his father's name, Mohammad Reza Shah, his grandfather's name, Reza Shah. These have been the fixture of Iran protests over the past 10 years. He's the only one whose name we see on the walls. We don't see anyone else. So that's also a constant. Anyone who follows Iran politics can see that. And then you have the regime itself constantly talking about him. Just last week, Khamenei singled him out, and he actually said that during the war, they have even chosen the next king. So obviously, the next king, he's talking about him. So his enemies, the regime, its officials, they are talking about him constantly, and they are doing it publicly, and we know that they are doing it privately. He has political support among political groups. As I said, in Munich, more than 50 groups have got together in Munich 1. They signed the 12-point statement saying that they support the Crown Prince and his vision. These are, and in Munich 2, it expanded. These are groups from left to right, from monarchist to Republican. You have a lot of political figures, former MEK, former Fada'is. You have like members of different groups from different ethnic background, different faiths. So he has a broad support among the organized political parties. No one else has that. No one else can claim that. He has a global name recognition. Inside Iran, everyone knows him. Outside Iran, the name Pahlavi, most people know that. That's not true about any other political leader. If he can, basically no one else is at his level. Then he's heir to the Pahlavi legacy. That may be a bit strange for non-Iranians to hear that that's a good thing, because for decades there have been like disinformation about that. But when Iranians look at the Pahlavi dynasty, what they see is that the Pahlavi era was the only good era in Iran's contemporary history. Before that was the Qajar era. After that is the Islamic Republic era. When you look at the numbers, you see that. You look at the GDP per capita, for example. Iran's real GDP per capita has never gone back to the Pahlavi level. And Iranian people understand that. Talk about Iran's respecting the world. Iranians still say that during the Shah era, they could go to many countries just with their passport. Right now, majority of Iranians want to leave the country. They cannot do it because with the Islamic Republic passport, you can really go anywhere. And the next thing is that he has institutional legitimacy. That's one more thing that he has. Monarchy in Iran is an institution. It's an institution with thousands of years of history. Other institutions in Iran are not working now. What are other institutions? The clergy. The clergy is hated. It's part of the problem. The bazaar, not working. The bureaucracy, many people see it as part of the problem because it's quite incompetent. What people see is that this bureaucracy over the past 4 decades has brought this into Iran. The other one is military. The military itself is part of the problem. So when you have chaos, when the regime falls, you have this institution, the institution of monarchy, that the crown prince represent. And that's an institution that can bring order, and that's an institution that can actually rebuild these other institutions that we need them, because the members of military, who can they go to? To a civil activist? To a women's rights activist? To an ethnic activist? No, they can go to the father of the nation, someone who represents everyone. And the last thing is that he has a plan and he has a team. So for years, people were saying the Iranian opposition doesn't have any plan. The Iranian opposition, as I will show you, has a plan and he has a team. Just in the Iran Prosperity Project, we have been working with 100 people so far. And it's growing and it's expanding. As I told you, through the defection platform, thousands of members of security forces, military forces, people in the bureaucracy has joined that. Those are the people that can be part of the Crown Prince's team when he goes back. Okay, sorry. Can I go back? Okay. So, what is Iran Prosperity Project? Iran Prosperity Project is a project initiated by Crown Prince to develop detailed plans for the future of Iran. The goal is to be prepared to run the country from day one. It sends the message to the Iranian people, to the diaspora, to the international community that Iran, after the Islamic Republic, will not face constant chaos. This plan focuses on stabilizing the country, restoring prosperity to Iran, and identifying opportunities for workers, entrepreneurs, and everyone, Iranians and non-Iranians. There are tons of opportunities in Iran for non-Iranians, lots of investment opportunities. So what's the time window for this plan? We have a phase 1, which is changing government, emergency phase, months 0 to 6. Then we have short-term stabilization. We expect it to end between 24 months to 36 months. So let's get the ceiling. It would be 6 to 36 months. And then you have the long-term reforms, which comes after 36 months. In terms of topics, so we have governance transformation, and we have economic social stabilization, we have industrial revitalization, and foundational stabilization. So basically, you have 2 groups, then it turns into 6 groups. It covers a lot of topics, from political transition to oil and gas production, to financial markets, to tourism, to environment. So far, what we have produced 2 batches of paper. The first batch were 6 papers focused on economic, how do we stabilize the economy, plus healthcare and welfare. So that, I think, was around 150, 200 pages. So that's a very detailed plan for those who say the Iranian opposition doesn't have a plan. The second batch of papers, it's called the emergency phase, day 0 to month 6. Basically, what are the crises that we will face? What are the mitigation strategies? How are we going to solve those crises? And how are we going to lay the foundation for the more long-term reform? So that's called our emergency booklet. It has around like 170 pages, very detailed. Covers like 15 topics from political transition to security and military reform to foreign policy to environment and so on. Sorry. Okay, so I want to talk about political transition a little bit. So what we envision here is that the Crown Prince would be in our political transition booklet. He's called the leader of the national uprising. So that's an institutional position in our booklet. So before the fall, he's going to establish 2 institutions. One is the temporary executive team, and the other one is the National Uprising Council. The National Uprising Council is an advisory council. The executive team is the team that is going to make things done. What happened to the next slide? Sorry. Okay, so we have some goals for this transition period. So basically what we want to do, we want to bring stability, we want to stabilize the country, bring security, and on the other hand, we want to move toward the democracy as soon as possible. So what we do here is that we give the transitional system the power that it needs to stabilize the country, but on the other hand, we are going to have elections, a referendum, as soon as possible, so we can move quickly to give the power back to the people. During the transition, so the leader of the national uprising, the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, he's going to lead 3 institutions: the transitional judiciary, the transitional government, and the National Uprising Council. The National Uprising Council remains from the past. The transitional government replaces the temporary executive team. And the transition judiciary, it's a new organization that will be created. And this is the flow chart of how things are going to happen. So this is before, and this is after. So 4 months after the fall of the regime, we will have a referendum. People will choose whether they want monarchy or they want republic. This has faced some backlash from both monarchists and Republicans. Some of our Republican friends, they believe that the only legitimate form of government is a republic. Some of our monarchist friends have the same belief. The Crown Prince, as he has been saying for 4 decades, is fighting to restore the choice that Iranian people have to decide what they want, whether it's monarchy or republic, everyone should accept. After these 4 months, you have the type of the regime. 2 months after it, you are going to have the election for the Constituent Assembly. There will be an election. Again, some of our friends are saying that an election for Constituent Assembly, it's not good because people don't know how to write a constitution. Crown Prince does not believe in that. Crown Prince believes people choose the form of the government and people will choose their representative to write the constitution. Then they have 6 to 12 months to write a constitution. When they are done, there will be another referendum after 1 month. If people ratify that constitution, then we will have a new constitution. If people reject that, the Constituent Assembly will have 3 months to write a new constitution. If people reject that again, then there should be a new election. That's there to make sure that people who go to the assembly, they actually follow what the people have asked them, so they don't do whatever they want. And after that, when you have your referendum, if it's monarchy, you will have coronation plus election for the parliament. If it's a republic, you will have an election for president and an election for parliament. And then you will have the new transitional government, and that transitional government take over, and the transition period is over. I'm not going to bother you with the last slide, but what I want to tell you is that we have developed these goals, and we have developed very detailed deliverables for each of them. So this way we are going to measure whether the transitional government is successful or no, whether in the, lifting the sanctions, are they successful? In having the elections, are they successful? In taking over the military and security places, they are successful. In ending the water problem, they are successful. In ending the electricity shortages, they are successful. So we have a very detailed deliverables for each of the 15 sections that we have. And thank you so much for your time. And at the end, I hope that you take this message with you, that the Iranian opposition has a leader, the Iranian opposition is organized, the Iranian opposition has a team and a plan, and they are ready to bring down the regime and lead the country toward peace, prosperity, and better future.